Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's or this afternoon's, let's say, webinar hosted by Payoneer. Thank you so much for everyone who is joining. We're just going to wait a few minutes before I introduce you to everyone here. We're just going to wait a few minutes. We have over 2,000 people that registered for this webinar, so I'm sure it's going to take some time for everyone to start logging in. As you are logging in, please let us know where you are joining us from. Are you in Dubai? Are you in somewhere more exotic, maybe Hawaii? Let us know where you're joining us from in the chat box. And of course, at any time, try to use yes, this will be recorded. Try to use the Q&A box when you have questions and try to just talk to us in the chat. We will be monitoring both, but just let us know. Wow, we've got Sasha from Los Angeles, Dubai, South Africa, Abu Dhabi, Nigeria, Morocco, lots of people. Welcome, everyone. Very happy to have you. As you guys know, this is a part of Payoneer's series regarding sourcing. We're going to be focusing on sourcing and lots of other information, of course, mainly starting off with India. That's what we're going to be discussing. So welcome, everyone. We are going to have also by the end of the session, once everyone is done with their presentations, we're going to be also discussing, we're going to have a Q&A session where you can go ahead and ask any question related to our topic to anyone here, and we'll be very happy to answer. So we've got people logging on, Egyptian, but in Ecuador. Sharif, welcome, marhaba. Dubai, Turkey, lots of great countries, Nigeria. Isn't it amazing? It's just so amazing. It still blows my mind that we're able to do these webinars and be able to connect to anyone all over the world. So for everyone that's joining us, welcome. My name is Crystal. I will introduce you to myself a little bit more further down the line. I am the moderator for today's session, and I'm also the brand ambassador for Payoneer in the GCC in the Middle East. Very happy to have you all. So let's get started. Hey, Benny, let's get started and let's kick off our webinar with Megla Margaret. And I would also like to introduce Danielle and Kavish, who you will be meeting in a few minutes, of course. Megla Margaret from India Sourcing. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank you. So give us a brief introduction about yourselves, the company, and then we'll just get started with the presentation.
Sure. My name is Megla Bhardwaj. I'm from India, and I'm the co-founder of India Sourcing Network. And we basically help global importers source products from India for their own brands. Margaret?
And I'm also Margaret Jolly, co-founder of India Sourcing Network, and I actually have been sourcing from India myself for the last 5 years and joined Megla in the whole India Sourcing Network now.
Great. Margaret, you're going to be telling us a little bit more about your personal experience between sourcing and, because you're a seller yourself, and getting products from China versus India. So many insights that we have. So anyone, if you have any question at any time for Megla and Margaret during their presentation, please go ahead and pop it in the Q&A and I'll be monitoring. Megla, go ahead, take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. I'm going to share my screen. Let's get started because I've got 10 or maximum 15 minutes and I've got a lot to cover. Okay, let's go. So we're going to be talking about sourcing private label products from India. These are the topics that we're going to cover: why source from India, some of the differences with China, what types of products you can source, how to find suppliers, and finally some sourcing tips. All right, we've done our introductions. Now, number one, why should you consider sourcing from India? Now, most people, when they source products for their own brands, they source from China, but not a lot of people are aware that there are tons and tons of very unique products that are made in India, exported to around the world. There are lots of handicraft products that are made out of metal, wood, a lot of other natural materials, such as jute, leather. And these products are currently being imported by large retailers, by brands from around the world. And it's only now that e-commerce, Amazon sellers are starting to discover these products as well. Another advantage, and this is especially for Amazon e-commerce sellers, is low MOQs. When you're starting out as an entrepreneur, you have limited capital, and this is one of the huge benefits that you have sourcing from India. You can source as low as 200 pieces, sometimes even 50 pieces. Although it may not be cost effective to ship a very, very low quantity, but that's an advantage. Most of the suppliers in India speak English, so communication is also very easy. Now, there are no trade tariffs when you're sourcing from India, especially if you're importing into the US. If you're sourcing from China into the US, there is currently an additional import duty of 25 to 30% on some categories. And a lot of suppliers in India focus on eco-friendly products, and these types of products are in high demand globally, and demand is increasingly all around the world for these types of products. So if you are in that niche, eco-friendly products, then India is a great place to source those products. Labor costs are currently lower in India than they are in China. So if your product is labor intensive, it requires manual labor, then it can be more cost effective to produce in India. There's lots of emerging industries in India, such as electronics and toys, and we'll talk about the types of products that you can source from India in subsequent slides. Now, real quick, let's look at some of the differences between India and China. And some of these we've already covered, but there's lots of unique handmade products in India, whereas China mostly specializes in mass-produced items. Low MOQs, starting from as low as 50 to 100 pieces for certain categories, especially for handmade products, whereas China has higher MOQs. In India, we find that generally suppliers have a bit more respect for your IP, and especially if you're an Amazon e-commerce seller, there's not a lot of manufacturers that are selling directly on Amazon. And so, whereas in China, a lot of the suppliers are selling directly on Amazon, and they tend to copy their buyers' products. So as I mentioned, labor costs and production costs are currently lower in India than they are in China. And in China, production costs are actually increasing. One of the disadvantages of sourcing from India is that there are fewer product categories you can source. Whereas in China, of course, you can source anything and everything. It's not a matter of if you can source something in China, it's a matter of, how much you can source it. So that's one limitation. Also, not all factories are online. So sometimes it gets very difficult to find suppliers in India. Whereas in China, most factories are online on Alibaba, or you go to Canton Fair. Also for India, there's not much information available online on how to find suppliers, vet suppliers, whereas China, there's a lot of blogs, tutorials, and a lot of experts talking about sourcing from China. So that's one limitation again. Okay, so let's look at the types of products. And these are some of the key categories that we find e-commerce and Amazon sellers source from India. The biggest category, and this is very popular in Amazon, home decor and gift items, metal, wood, ceramic, jute, cotton, glass, all mostly made out of natural materials. China is better for man-made materials like silicone, plastic, whereas India is better for natural materials. There's a lot of kitchen and tableware items such as cutlery, glasses, cutting boards, bowls. There's furniture, furnishings is a huge category. There's cushion covers, rugs. Pet products, it's an emerging category. There's fashion, jewelry, textiles, organic cotton, eco-friendly products. Leather is a huge category, and also recently food, especially supplements and natural supplements are becoming very, very popular. Okay, these are some photos of the different types of products available. India specializes in handloom fabrics, so you'll find a lot of beautiful fabrics that are in different patterns, textures, that are made with this handloom method. This is a map that shows all of the different types of handloom fabrics that you can find in India, very diverse and very beautiful textures and fabrics that can be, converted into different types of products, where it's apparel, home furnishings. So you can get very creative with all of these different types of fabrics available. Eco-friendly products. Now, this is one company that I'm really fond of, and they make eco-friendly products. These are mostly bags that are made out of plant-based materials, such as cactus, pineapple fiber. I use these bags myself. They're beautiful. Also, some disposable dinnerware that's made out of areca, palm leaves, and also sugarcane waste. More eco-friendly products. Jute is a very eco-friendly material that's very widely used in India. There's organic cotton. And, not only are suppliers producing eco-friendly products, but they're also manufacturing in a sustainable way. So, for example, this factory here, they run entirely on solar panels. And so it's a very, sustainable production. Over here, you see fabrics and rugs that are made out of recycled PET water bottles. These are some metal products. There's a huge variety of metal products that's made in India. The main production center for metal is a city called Moradabad in North India. There's all types of metal products available, including iron, aluminium, brass, stainless steel, and really beautiful, high quality products that are handmade. Lots of wooden products. The most common type of wood used in India is mango wood. And there's also acacia wood, but generally mango wood is more common. And mango wood is not really available in China. China mostly does acacia or bamboo wood. Pet products, these are some cute photos that I've included over here. Again, these toys are actually very eco-friendly. They're made out of natural materials, and even the filling is not polyfill, but it's an eco-friendly natural material. Macrame products, again, a lot of the handmade kind of handicraft products are done in India. Lots of furnishing, so bath mats. These mats over here are actually made out of a material called coir, which is the husk of coconut. And there are a couple of factories in South India that produce these at a very large scale, and these are exported to countries around the world. Okay, next section, how to find suppliers in India. So the number one thing that you can do is just go to Google, search for whatever products you're looking for, and then manufacture India. Most suppliers have websites. However, note that their websites are not updated. India suppliers are not very good at keeping their websites up to date, but at least you can get some basic, contact information from their websites. You can also go to supplier directories. There are two main international supplier directories, Global Sources and Alibaba. Most of the suppliers on these directories are, of course, from China. However, they do have suppliers from India as well. What you need to do is use the supplier location filter after you do a search to find suppliers from India, both on Global Sources and Alibaba. When you do a search, avoid this company called IndiaMart. It will often come up in search results. But the problem with IndiaMart is that they're very domestic focused. Most of the suppliers on IndiaMart are actually distributors or agents that sell in the domestic market, and many of them import products from China and then sell them locally. There are export-focused companies on IndiaMart, but you've got to be very careful when using IndiaMart to select companies. Our platform is indiasourcing.net, and you can find suppliers over here as well. There are different ways that we vet suppliers. So first of all, we check that they are legitimate companies. We make sure that they are manufacturers and also that they are export experienced. And then you can contact any of the companies on the website and then deal directly with them, place orders. We also have a lot of content related to sourcing from India. We do workshops, masterminds, a lot of information. So you can go to indiasourcing.net. We also have a lot of service providers that we've partnered with. So, whether you need sourcing agencies or a packaging company, inspection, logistics, warehouse, payments, we've got partners for all of these different services. Another way of finding suppliers is trade shows. And one of the main trade shows that's held in India is called the Delhi Fair. It's held twice a year in Noida, and there are about 3,500 suppliers at the fair. Most of the suppliers are export focused, and the key categories at this fair are home, gift, and fashion products. And it's mostly handcrafted, handmade products that are exhibited at this trade show. You can also make use of sourcing agents, and typically sourcing agents charge about 5 to 10% of order value as their sourcing fee. And they manage the entire sourcing process for you. They can find suppliers, vet suppliers, negotiate on your behalf, place orders, do the sampling, product development, quality control. A couple of things to take note of when you're selecting a sourcing agent. Make sure that they specialize in the product category that you are sourcing, and also make sure that they are close to the factory where you're sourcing from, or that at least they have representatives or somebody that can visit the factory. Because if they're in a different city, then they will charge you to actually visit the factory in the different city. Okay, last couple of slides here, India sourcing tips. Now, one of the things that we always tell people is you should focus on building supplier relationships when you're sourcing from India. This is really important. And of course, if you're sourcing from China, you probably have heard of the term guanxi, which also means business relationships. And the same concept is applicable in India as well. Many Indian businesses, in fact, are family run. So when you go to the trade show, for example, you'll see maybe the father, the grandfather, and the son all at the booth, and you're dealing with the family. And Margaret will tell you that she has sort of built a great rapport with the supplier that she's sourcing from. They have even visited the supplier's family and their house, and they've been invited for dinner. So it kind of becomes a sort of you have to build a close relationship with the supplier. Of course, it will happen over time once you place repeat orders and you're an important customer for them. But once you build trust and relationship, then you tend to get better terms, priority treatment. When you're sourcing from China, it's very transactional. Suppliers will say, okay, here, where's your money? Once we have your money, then we'll start producing your product. Whereas in India, it's a bit more, relationship based. They'll trust you to send the payment. They'll, especially if you have good relationship already built. Of course, not on your first order, but that's something to consider. Relationships are important. This is a note regarding logistics, and this is especially important if you're shipping to the US, because a lot of people that we help, they source from India to ship to the US. But if you're shipping from the US, then make sure to ship to the East Coast, not to the West Coast. Most of the production from China goes to the West Coast, but then for India, it needs to go to the East Coast because it's cheaper and it also takes less time. Typically, the transit time if you're shipping by sea is about 22 days for a ship from the port of Mumbai to New York. So just keep that in mind. Don't ship to the West Coast if you're shipping to the US. Okay, so that's my presentation. Just before I hand it over to Crystal, a couple of things in case people need more information. We run a Facebook group. You're most welcome to join this. There's a lot of content that we share in the group. So just search for Sourcing from India in Facebook, join the group. Our website is indiasourcing.net. And we also run India Sourcing Trip. This is an 8-day sourcing, learning, and cultural guided tour to India. And I just want to spend a minute talking about this trip. The next one is coming up in October 12th to the 19th. And the one after that is March 2023. We host this trip twice a year. And we take you to a sourcing trade show. We spend 3 days at the trade show. We do a full day conference teaching you about sourcing from India. You get to meet with a range of service providers. We do factory tours. We also take you to Taj Mahal, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. We do a Bollywood night where everybody can dress up in saris and dance to Bollywood tunes. And then we also do a trip to Moradabad, which is a city near Delhi where most of the metal products are manufactured, for some factory tours there. All right, so that's it from me, Crystal. And if anyone has any questions or they need help with sourcing, they can also contact us at info@indiasourcing.net. All right, Crystal, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'll let you catch your breath because you went through that. Incredible. Once you have time, please, Megla or Margaret, just type in the chat box because a lot of people are asking whether, the website for India Sourcing Network, your Facebook group, as well as how they can register for the trip. So if you just add it in the chat box so that they can just click on it, if you don't mind. Additionally, for everyone that's asking, if you just recently joined, yes, this is going to be recorded. This is actually being recorded right now, and you will be sent the replay, I believe, after the session is done. Within a few hours, maximum 24 hours, you will receive it by email because you registered your email once you entered into, this. So you joined us. So thank you so much. One question for everyone that's recently joined us before I ask Megla and Margaret a few questions. I want to ask you, everyone who's joining us, let us know if you are currently selling on Amazon or on any marketplace or on your own website. So type yes in the chat box if you are currently selling. If you're not, or you're still at the phase where you're thinking about it, type no. Let us know. It's a little bit important for us to just understand where you guys are at. Yeah, perfect. So Margaret, I want to ask you a question because you have firsthand experience between sourcing from China versus sourcing from India. Can you just give us a few tips and kind of differences between both?
Yes, look, yes, sure, Crystal. I actually started off sourcing from China and didn't know the difference to, I stumbled across actually an Indian supplier at a fair in Hong Kong. And at that point, I just noticed the communication was so much easier because I was speaking to the owners. They spoke very clear English. It was very easy to deal with them. And it was a family, so I met the whole family. And it was not just transactional. It was a really pleasant experience. And I found that then if you're going to China, when we used to speak, I'd be speaking to the sales lady, and I think she would then go out to the back and transcribe what I've said into, Chinese, and then it would get lost in translation, and I ended up with bad experiences where, my boxes were twice the size they should have been. I was shipping air for, a whole shipment and things like that. So I just think that and the handcraft products, the difference you can get. If you go to China, everything's on Alibaba and it's there, and 100 people buy the same thing because they click on it. Whereas my supplier doesn't even have a website. You need to either, go to the fair to find their goods, and so you don't get copied. So I've been selling the same products for 5 years, but nobody else is really selling exactly what I'm selling, because unless they've gone over to India, they haven't found my product. So I didn't have to go and reinvent, completely change products. We tweaked some of their products, but it was a lot easier than, just being one of, hundreds of the same product. So I find that is one of the biggest benefits, and the beautiful handcraft products are amazing.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Megla, a question for you. Just so everyone knows, we are going to have a Q&A session at the end. So we have about 20 minutes at the end. So any question that pops up that, Megla and Margaret haven't really talked about, please keep it, type it in right now, and then we'll ask it at the end. So Megla, one very important issue that a lot of people, they experience when they source from basically sometimes anywhere, is the fact that they can't really manage the quality. So not visiting the factory, maybe you order a sample and then you get something else. What can you do in order to manage quality with Indian manufacturers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Crystal. And I think there are 3 things that you really need to do to ensure you can get quality products. Number 1 is select the right supplier based on your specific requirements. So make sure that your supplier has experience in the country that you're importing to. Make sure that they have experience in the products that you are sourcing. It's not, new to them. Make sure that they have raw material suppliers, for example, for that product, and they have the capability to do the product that you have. So that's number 1, select the right supplier. Number 2 is give very, very detailed specifications and, guidelines to your supplier on what exactly you want. In sourcing, they say that quality is nothing but adherence to specifications. It's very subjective. So it's all about what you want and whether or not your supplier has met your specific requirements. So communicate very, very clearly to your supplier what exactly you want in the product. Make sure they understand that. And then the third thing that you should do is inspections. So whether you work with a sourcing agent or you work directly with a manufacturer, you need to do inspections. If you're working directly with a manufacturer, then at least do a final pre-shipment inspection where the products have been, completed and they've been produced, and then you just do a final inspection before the shipment is done. If you're sourcing in large volumes, then you should also do a pre-production inspection and maybe even a midline inspection. So I think if you do an inspection, that's really good. So yeah, those are the 3 things that I would suggest people to follow.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We are getting a lot of questions, but I'm going to keep everyone anticipating till the end. Now, thank you so much, Megla and Margaret. Now it's time for me to introduce Danielle from DHL. Hi, Danielle.
Hello, Crystal. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
Fine,
very happy to have you. As you know, logistics is a very, very big issue for anyone that's selling. And based on everyone's comments to my question, whether they are selling online or not, it's split. There are a lot of people that are selling, some people are selling digital products, and there are a lot of people that are still looking to get started. So I think what we're going to be discussing today is very important, because step number 1, you need to find the product. Step number 2, you need to ship the product. So let's get started with you. Let us know a little bit more about your position at DHL, and then we'll get started with the presentation.
Thank you, Crystal. Hi, everyone, once again. So I'm Danielle, and I'm head of e-commerce for the Middle East and Africa region. And this is for DHL Global Forwarding. And DHL Global Forwarding is one of the divisions of the global body of Deutsche Post, DHL, based in Germany. And we have our several presence in the regions all around the world. So I started this position in e-commerce last year, and that's because of my interest in building e-commerce, developing e-commerce around the globe, cross-border, B2B, B2C. And so when I was approached by the team for this webinar, it was such a great opportunity for me to join it. So I'll just quickly share my slide because we need to talk about logistics, which is one of the key things you need to consider as whenever you're sourcing from any location here and there. So give me a second while I share my slide.
We've got a lot of people from Nigeria joining us in today's session, which is very, very cool. A lot of people from Dubai, where we're both located, as well as a lot of people from all over the world. So very happy to have all of you. Thank you so much.
Okay, just a second.
Yep, no problem. Take your time. Yes, we can see your screen perfectly.
All right, so sourcing from India is, of course, since 3 years ago, the COVID crisis, people started thinking about different ways of diversifying where they source from. And hence, this is why this webinar is here for today. So let's see what DHL is about, first of all. And just quickly, I'll go through. We are a global logistics firm, one of the biggest in the world. And we're concentrating on B2C and B2B trade in about 220 countries around the globe. E-commerce is one of the key focus right now, and in other sectors as well as so retail, automotive, engineering, consumer products, life science, some of the sectors which DHL is currently working on. We have several modes of transportation: air, ocean, road, sea, rail, as well as land transportation. This is just a snapshot of the global logistics industry. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we can see that from all the boxes here, there's air freight, ocean, e-commerce, and also trade outlook globally. We see that there's been a downward trend in terms of inflation, in terms of global trade, in terms of capacity, volumes here and there. And that's also because the market hasn't really stabilized since the COVID pandemic, lockdowns, and also the crisis in Europe. But e-commerce, which is my core area of specialization, has seen some increase, albeit it's not as much as before. And that's also because of the current situation in the market. I'm just going to go through the next slide. And what are the questions you need to ask yourself as someone sourcing from anywhere, actually? So you need to know, first of all, what countries do I want to ship to? Because this will help you to know the rules in the countries that you're shipping to. Also, what are the import regulations of the countries? What are the shipping fees from India to the country of destination? What should I consider in terms of prohibited and restricted goods? So these are all of the things you should consider. And if there are some items which are restricted in the country of destination, who is the authority I should approach to get approvals from them? And also, what's the best transportation mode to ship my product? So either air or ocean. It also depends on your budget. In India, we have our presence in several locations. And if you can see from the slide here, we have our presence in 8 airports around India, in Delhi, Mumbai, Cochin, Chennai, as well as Bangalore. We have our seaports. We're present in lots of seaports in India as well. So we move shipments here and there. We have shipments from India to US, to UAE, to Qatar, Middle East, Africa, several places all around the world. If you're thinking about shipping by air, there are several options to ship by air. So it depends on your budget, the time you need to move the shipment from here to there, and also if you want, if you have sensitive goods. So we have different transit times depending on what you want and what you can select. Some key things to note if you want to ship by air. Some people don't know exactly what kind of documentations are required or what are the best practices for me to ship my products from one place to the other. So air freight, basically, you need a legal tender, which is a commercial invoice to show that you've made some payment in this country and you're shipping to another country. So it shows the goods that you have purchased, the price, who the goods belong to, and where the goods are going to. Some of the key things you should take note of, best practices for air freight are, for example, you should ensure that your shipments are well labeled. If they're dangerous goods, you need to make sure that the correct labels are for them. Just ensure you let your factory or manufacturer know the correct labels, but also you as a sourcing, as a business owner, if you're able to know this, you'll be able to insist on doing this. Or you'll be able to insist that the manufacturer or your supplier in India also adheres to this. A key thing is for you to avoid prohibited items because this will stop your shipment. Number one, you have to pay lots of fines in the country, either importing countries or at the destination, exporting country or at the destination. So these are key things. In terms of ocean, there are two types of basic ocean shipments. Either you want a full container load, it means that only your products will be in one container. Or if you want a less container load, so it means that you're consolidating and you're sharing one container with several other suppliers. From my experience, I've noticed that lots of Amazon sellers, lots of sellers online prefer to go with the LCL mode. And that's because, number one, probably you can't, you don't have enough to fill in a full container, or you prefer to reduce your cost by taking a less container space. So you assigned a dedicated space in a container for your products. Some of the documents required for ocean freight are commercial invoice, packing list, certificate of origin, bill of lading. Bill of lading is the shipping document that the sea freight carrier will give to you once your shipment has been booked. And there are other documentation that may not be listed here, but your forwarders may ask you for them, or the customs may ask you for them. So take note of these things when you're shipping from whichever origin to whichever destination. Please find out from your sourcing agents in India also about the required documentations. So let's come to customs. Customs are very, very important because they are the governing agencies, governing body for shipping anything, because your product has to go from one border to the other, either by air or by road or by sea. The customs officials demand a lot of things for you, for your shipment to go seamlessly. Tariff codes, for example, look at there's a custom, the 4 tools for a smooth and seamless transition of your products. Tariff codes, these are also called HS codes. So this is an identifying number. Depending on the country, it might be 6 digits, 8 digits, 10 digits, but usually it's a description of the kind of product that you are shipping. So for example, if you're shipping a wooden toy, you have a certain code, which is the defined or for classifying that product. So these are some, you should make sure that the tariff codes are on your commercial invoice. Commercial invoice is also necessary because this will show the full scale of what you're shipping. Proof of origin, which is also a country of origin of the product. So if it's manufactured in China, you should mention China. If it's manufactured in India, you should mention India, not vice versa, because this can cause a delay and problems with customs. Licenses are actually very, very important. So if there are licenses that are required by customs, endeavor to provide them for the goods safety and also seamless transition. In India, Directorate General of Foreign Trade is the governing body, the customs body that handles shipments in and out of India. And there's a link there which you can go to. We'll share the slides later on, which will show you all the things you need to take note of: prohibited items, restricted goods, and all the licenses that are required for you to move your shipments. So these are some of the restricted and prohibited items when you're shipping from whichever country to another one. Prohibited means that you cannot ship them. So there's no way you shouldn't move those shipments at all. Restricted goods, you can move them, but with necessary approvals from the authority that are governing such goods. For example, if you're moving like jewelry, which is something common from India, jewelry products, you need to have certain approval from a company called Kimberly. I'll get the correct name, but Kimberly is an authority that governs the movement of jewelry, precious stones, and gems. Cigarettes, you need to ask for the correct municipality. Microchips from the telecoms controlling authority, and so on and so forth. So check with the correct authority to know who to approach for the licenses to move your shipments. So logistics, like we said, is quite a key thing, actually, important part of shipping from wherever to the next, from any origin to any destination. We provide consultation, we provide advice, we provide you with supports whenever you want to move your shipments. So please reach out to me, to my colleagues, and we can give you the best solution for your products. Either you want to go by air, by sea, or whatever mode of transportation you want to use. We also have a lot of customs experts in India who will assist you with all the necessary documentation, with all the necessary information you need to know. And this is, if you need to contact me, this is my email address. The QR code is also the direct link to my mobile phone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Crystal.
Thanks, Danielle. Incredible. Thank you so much. One question that I want to ask you is related to, obviously, logistics is very important, but we're talking today about, we're focused today on India, but DHL also provides support for logistics and shipping from anywhere to everywhere, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
We are currently present in 220 countries globally. So we move your shipments from any part of the world, any part of the region, whichever place you want to ship to. Yes.
Yeah. We have a very important, you have a very great service that you currently launched in the Middle East. We're going to talk about it, especially for small businesses and small Amazon, as well as online sellers in general. But I'm going to keep everyone on their toes, and I'm going to make them wait till the end before we talk about it. What do you think? Do we make them wait, or do we just give them? We wait till the end?
Let's wait till the end, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Danielle. Everyone, if you have any question for Danielle and you want us to answer it, please write it in the Q&A section, and we'll make sure to answer it at the end of the session. We're almost done anyways, okay? And there were a lot of people, Danielle, that were asking for your contact, but you have already shared it, so you can easily, anyone who has any follow-up questions, you can contact Danielle directly. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you, Christel. Thank you.
Thanks. So now it's my turn, guys. So now that we sourced your product, you shipped your product, now it's time to sell your product. And that's exactly what I'm going to be discussing. My presentation is going to be very fast. I'm going to also let you know upfront that this is mostly going to be beneficial for you if you are actually currently selling online. If you're not selling on Amazon or on places like Shopify, I'm afraid I'm not going to be giving you a lot of basic information. I am, but it's going to be a little bit more of information that you require if you are currently selling. So for me, I'm going to be discussing how you get more sales. But let me introduce you a little bit more about me. My name is Crystal, and I'm the founder of two companies. My first company is called Amazon Sellers Society. I founded the company in 2015, and then in 2019, we moved the company to Dubai, and it became Amazon Sellers Society Middle East, because we decided we want to focus on the Middle East and Africa region, which back then and still till this day is the fastest growing e-commerce region in the world, Africa, Middle East, as well as Asia Pacific. We don't currently operate in Asia Pacific, but we do operate in the Middle East as well as Africa. What we do is we do operations for sellers on Amazon. Basically, we do everything that you need in order to succeed on Amazon, from finding a product to listing the product to advertising your product. To date, we've worked with over 250 brands, and we've launched over 2,500 products on Amazon worldwide, but we are mainly focused on Amazon right now in the Middle East. Our second company is called Sellers Society, which we launched in 2021, not 2019, 2021. Sellers Society is a software. It's a tool that can help Amazon and Shopify sellers sell more profitably on Amazon. Okay, so let's get started with how you can get more sales when you are selling physical products on Amazon. First of all, it's a three-step funnel. It starts off with kicking off your Amazon sales and then connecting with your audience. And then after you do that, you need to monitor whatever results you're getting. So small business, big business actually starts small. This is one of my favorite quotes from Richard Branson. I'm going to be giving you a few quotes along the way. But I wanted to start with this quote just to let you know it's not about the size of the business. That's not what I mean by this quote. What I want you to focus on are the fundamentals of your business. Sometimes our vision is so big that we forget to actually check the tiny little fundamentals. And in this case, when we talk about Amazon, it's about your listing. What you're listing, for most of you who don't know and aren't familiar with what we call Amazonian language, so the terminology that we use online, listing is basically your product page. Your product page needs to be optimized. I know this might seem very basic, but a lot of people think of so many steps ahead that they actually forget this step, which is very essential. The way people purchase your product online is via the page that you provide them. If we don't provide them the necessary information, and if we don't show them the reason why they should be purchasing the product in the first place, then they're not going to buy. They're going to either buy from someone else or they're just not going to buy at all. So selling online still requires selling. We forget that because we think, selling one-on-one requires us to convince somebody to purchase the product, and selling online, I'll just post it online and somebody will buy it. Unfortunately, in today's e-commerce world, where our customers have so many options and so many places to go to, that is not the case. We need to provide them all of the information. And we've divided this into 3 columns. Column number 1 is related to the text. So if you are selling on Amazon, your title needs to be optimized to at least 150 characters. You need to have 5 bullet points, and you need to have a product description of at least 1,000 characters. If you're not selling on Amazon, it doesn't matter. Your listings, your product page still need to have a lot of keywords, and you still need to provide all of the information via text. Information. Don't think that customers don't read. Maybe the majority of customers look at your pictures in order to learn a little bit more about your product, but a very large majority of people also back that decision up with the information that you provide them via text. So you need to add the text, and the text needs to contain your proper keywords. Now, when it comes to images, you need to have at least 7 images. Your main image needs to have a white background. And I would suggest to also add a lifestyle image with a person's face, because we buy from people. We don't buy from inanimate objects. So we want to see somebody using the product that we intend to sell. As customers, we want to see someone using the product. And if the person is smiling, then it makes it even better. The last thing is social proof. So I like to describe the idea of social proof as if you traveled to a brand new country and you went to a really, really popular, I don't know, maybe town square or somewhere where a lot of tourists go to have dinner. And you find 2 restaurants. One restaurant is fully packed and people are standing in line to just sit and have a meal. And the restaurant right next to it that just looks kind of the same and has the same maybe view is completely empty. Automatically, what you're going to think as a person that doesn't know anything about this country that you've just traveled to, you're going to think, well, this empty restaurant must be bad because it's empty. And this full restaurant, well, of course it's good because, people are waiting in line. Of course, we know that's not always the case, but that's exactly what customers see when they log in to purchase your products, either on Shopify or on any platform, including, of course, Amazon. So reviews are your social proof. You need to have at least 5 reviews when you launch your product. You need to have a high rating of 4.0 or above. And you need to have Q&A, this is specific for Amazon. There's a Q&A section and it needs to be filled out. We don't want to take any excuses. Florence Nightingale, this is a quote from Florence Nightingale, and this is where we're going to be talking about connect. How are we going to connect with the person? So we created a fantastic listing. Let's take it a little bit deeper and let's look at step number 2, which is connecting. Here, I'm going to talk to you about a strategy. I don't know if you guys like to read. If you don't like to read, I'm sure you're going to find a lot of YouTube videos about this. This is a strategy called Blue Ocean. These 2 professors are actually my professors because I studied Blue Ocean strategy in INSEAD University in France. This is Chan Kim and this is René Mauborge. They are both finance professors and they created a strategy called Blue Ocean strategy. The idea behind Blue Ocean strategy is you can create either a product, a service, or anything that could be operating in a blue ocean where you're swimming by yourself happily versus selling a product in a red ocean, which is full of competition. Red because it's bloody with competition. So in the book, if you guys like to read, or again, you can find, of course, some information on YouTube. In the book, the latest book, you will be able to know exactly how the system is laid out for you to create and develop a system that will lead you to a blue ocean, whether that be selling a product on a marketplace or even a service. It doesn't really matter. It's the mindset. So with that being said, we also need to understand that we need to sell our products for our target audience. Now, hold on. You might say, Crystal, I want to sell my product to anyone who's willing to pay for it. I don't care whether it's my target audience or not. And you're 100% right. But in sales, we all know if you try to sell your product to everybody, anybody, then you're going to end up selling it to nobody because people have different patterns. As long as you can identify your level 1, your level 2, and your level 3 audience, then you know who to focus on. You need to focus on level 1 and then level 2 a little bit less and level 3 a little bit less. So if we take an example of what level 1 would be, just let me give you an example. When you sell a product that is related to children, babies, if you are buying this product as a parent, you look at it as the mother and father, you look at things related to this product very differently than somebody who's your friend who wants to buy it as a gift because, they're invited to your son's birthday. and they want to buy this as a gift. So that's what I mean by you need to know your core audience and you need to focus on them. If my core audience, if the people who are buying this product are the parents, then they care about, what do you think they care about? Obviously, parents care about safety. They care about the product quality. They want to ensure that the product, nothing's going to happen to their child in case they use the product. Whereas if you were buying this product as a gift, maybe you don't really care about these things. You mostly care about the price and you care about that it looks like it's a nice gift at a really good price. So remember that the way that you sell the product, you need to ensure that you connect with your target audience, and then the rest will follow suit. Very important for you, now that we discussed all of that, we want to take it a little step further, and this is going to be a little bit more in depth, and we're going to talk about how you can develop a system. And we're going to be talking about monitoring. This is especially if you are selling on Amazon, or even very similar if you are doing Google Ads, because the system of how Amazon works related to how Google Ads work are very, very similar. So listen up, this is going to be very technical. But I also want to tell you about our Sellers Society kickoff program where you can apply. This is a free program. As you can see, this is the QR codes. Scan it and it'll take you to a form where you can apply. If you're not able to scan it right now, just email us at admin@sellerssociety.io. This is open only to 20 people from this webinar. And what we do is, this is also open only to people that are selling on Amazon. It doesn't matter which Amazon you are selling on. Sellers Society operates on 20 global marketplaces, all of Amazon's marketplaces, so it doesn't matter. Part of the Sellers Society kickoff program is we will fix your listings, we will do consultation calls with you, and we will give you access to Sellers Society free for 15 days. So register if you think this works for you. This is application only, so we will be filtering through the applications. Now, what you need to monitor are your ads. You need to ensure that your CTR is 1.5 and above. CTR stands for click-through rate. Your CVR, which is your conversion rate, is 9.5 and above. And your TACOs, which are your true ACOS, 25 and above. Wherever you're selling, CTR and CVR are numbers that you see. These are very important numbers. Let me just explain to you quickly. Your click-through rate is a very revealing number, especially on Amazon, because it helps you know basically if your ad, especially when it comes to ads, is actually performing correctly. And when people see it, they're intrigued and they click. It's called click-through rate. So how many people are clicking? Where you find it is in your search term report in your ads. As you can see here, as an example, the click-through rate of the first keyword, which has 6,954 impressions, clicks 79, so the click-through rate is 1.13. So look at the impressions. Impressions basically means how many people saw the ad, and look at the clicks. Automatically, you know there's something that's not happening. There's something that's not good. Versus all the way at the bottom, you'll see 259 with 12 clicks. That gives you 4.6. That is a much better keyword. So if you're spending money, you want to be spending money where people are going and where people are clicking. CVR is your conversion rate. How many people are logging in? This is especially important, again, wherever you're selling. Because if you are selling on Shopify, you also are monitoring how many people are logging into your page, to your website, and how many people end up in your cart. Most importantly, how many people check out, how many people purchase. So you need to have a conversion rate of 9%. Of course, this is a very general number because it's very different depending on what the product is, how sensitive it is, and what's happening, and what the price point of the product is as well. Lastly, your TACOs or your true ACOS, very important if you are selling on Amazon, because TACOs is make or break when it comes to making money online.
I think Crystal is having some connectivity issues. Let's just give her a couple of minutes. She has a backup Wi-Fi that she should probably log into. So let's just give her a couple of minutes here. Yeah, no worries. She's got backup internet connection, so she'll be back soon. So this was very interesting. I've also been taking notes here. Crystal is amazing at all of this, isn't she, Mark, right?
She is, yes. I've actually been taking notes as well.
Awesome. So while we're waiting for Crystal, why don't we take some of the questions that we've got in the Q&A box? And I see there are lots of questions related to sourcing from India as well. So let's take some of those. Let's see. So Sahul Hamid is asking, what is the cost for that trip? So Sahul, you can go to indiasourcingtrip.com to get more information. And the entire trip is actually an all-inclusive trip that includes the hotel and transportation and food and introductions to suppliers and full-day conference and everything. We even give you SIM cards, pick you up from the hotel, and we do cultural activities. So it costs $5,000. And it is an all-inclusive trip that includes everything. So check it out at indiasourcingtrip.com. Okay, let me see what other questions we have over here that we can easily address. I see there's a question about double taxation of imports into Nigeria. So I'm afraid we are not aware of the specific taxation issues that are there between India and Nigeria. So we will not be able to answer that question. Let's see. I'm able to start using Amazon. I wish to be writing books, but I need help on how to use Amazon. Is there anyone who can help with this? So I think, Crystal has an agency where they actually help you sell on Amazon. So if you want their agency's help to, find you products, launch products, that's something that you can definitely consider. But otherwise, we also recommend Helium 10. They have an A to Z course that you can take to, help you source products. So that's something that you can consider as well. There's the course is free with a subscription of Helium 10. All right. So there's one question for Danielle. If you're up for it, Danielle, Olufemi is asking, please, is there a logistics product from DHL that is affordable for SMEs?
Yes. So Megla, let me answer this question. Olufemi, there is, we have started developing a product for SMEs, actually sellers on marketplaces from DHL. So yes, there's definitely some products coming up, and I'll introduce you to it. You can send me a direct message and I will for sure answer you. I will just put on my QR code again, just in case you didn't catch it before. But yes, definitely, we have logistics products for SMEs. Awesome. And I think there's another question. Sorry, Megla, there was one about the transit or shipping times from India.
Yes, go ahead and answer that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so considering air or ocean, transit times from India to UAE air is 3 to 7 days. So that depends on the airport of departure. And by ocean is about 15 to 36 days, also depending on the port of departure. Also, if you're thinking about USA or Turkey, Margaret mentioned that ocean freight movement transit time from India to USA is about 21 days.
Yeah, 22 days, yeah.
22 days. So that also depends on your port of departure, because, logistics, inland logistics in India also may be something to consider. By air, it's about 3 to 8 days to USA.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. I see Crystal is back. Crystal?
Yes, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to my connection. So let's keep going with, it's okay. I guess let's keep going with Kavish. Kavish, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I've been hearing everyone.
Yeah, perfect. So Kavish, please go ahead and introduce yourself and let's get started.
Cool. So nice to meet everyone, all of you attending right now live from various parts of the world. My name is Kavish. I lead partnerships for Payoneer across South Asia, Middle East, North Africa. I have been associated with Payoneer for very long now and have a great understanding of working with e-commerce businesses of all shapes and sizes across the region. So I'll walk you through what Payoneer does for the e-commerce sellers across the region. What are the kind of products that we have, that's two, and how do we basically solve different pain points for e-commerce merchants. So I'll quickly walk through a very, very brief presentation. More interested in learning about questions, each one of you, and what kind of challenges that you face in your cross-border business. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay, I hope everybody can see the screen, right?
Yep.
Cool. So I hope everybody knows what Payoneer does, but I'll still go and quickly walk you through what we do as a platform. So we are a cross-border payment solution. We have been around for like last 16 years. I've been with Payoneer for almost 6 years now. We are a fully regulated entity across the globe. We recently got IPO'd last year. We are a fast, flexible, and a very secure method for merchants, for online businesses to receive payments from clients in 200 plus countries. We have a very solid team, on-ground team, almost everywhere in the world, from MENA to India to Bangladesh, to US, UK, Europe. We have people on the ground supporting merchants in their best capacity. So if we look at the growth of cross-border commerce over the last few years, at least in my professional experience so far, e-commerce has grown massively across the globe. I mean, it's unmatched. We never thought that e-commerce is going to be a stiff competition to retail across the globe. In 2021 alone, the overall e-commerce transaction volume was more than $4.2 trillion. I think this was, if we were having this webinar 10 years back in time, we wouldn't have even believed the numbers on the screen. So the overall growth of cross-border e-commerce versus traditional trade is almost 2x. And what we are looking at is a 27% compounded annual growth rate of cross-border e-commerce across the globe. So all these numbers signify only one thing: cross-border e-commerce is here to stay, and that's the next growth territory for all online businesses. So why you should look at Payoneer? There are a bunch of payment options across available across. You do a Google, you will find a bunch of options that you can do to get and receive international payments. But why particularly Payoneer makes a difference to your life? So Payoneer as a platform has a global reach, and we are heavily regulated across the globe. We support all different languages. We are a truly global platform that you would require to get to grow beyond borders. So be it a merchant from UAE getting paid from a client in Australia, or be a merchant from Bangladesh getting payment from Hong Kong, we support all possible corridors in the world. So that is something that is unique to Payoneer. When I say unique, it's basically our global reach, which is unmatched. So we have a very strong team across the globe. We have a bunch of product features, which I'll deep dive into in the upcoming slides. But long story short, we are a companion. We are a platform that are here to stay for your growth globally. So giving you some confidence when you would select a payment platform, Payoneer is trusted by large enterprise customers across the globe. In freelance, in content creation, in e-commerce, in vacation rentals, in digital marketing and affiliate marketing. We work with all the top players in each of these categories and more beyond these. We work with more than 2,000 top marketplaces. We understand the marketplace business really well. So when you sell on a marketplace, when you get paid by a marketplace, Payoneer understands the overall flow really well. We are unique also in a way that we work with marketplaces and we also work with SMEs. So you will not come across a platform that has a right balance between the merchant and the marketplace. So I'll focus on e-commerce for this session. We work with Amazon, we work with Walmart, we work with eBay, we work with Lazada, Top-Adder, pretty much every marketplace in the world that you will aspire to sell in the years to come, We work with all of them. So with Payoneer, you get access to the marketplaces and you also get access to a very solid payment solution. One of the favorite things of the conversation is talking about real growth stories. This is basically, of course, we can't name the customer, but talking about a VIP Payoneer customer who grew with Payoneer, was like basically a 5-figure Amazon seller in 2019, and over last 2 years, they have become a large 6-figure Amazon seller. So how Payoneer has helped them grow? Payoneer has helped them with 6 things. One, helping them consolidate funds from all different marketplaces on one platform. 2, we have given them access to virtual bank accounts in 8, 9, 10 different geographies. 3, we help the merchant make payouts to their suppliers in China, India, US, anywhere in the world. So while you work with partners like India Sourcing, once we have started sourcing these products, you will also need to make a payment to these suppliers for the products you have sold. While you work with partners like DHL, you would also need to make payments to DHL for logistics services. For all these things, Payoneer gives a very easy option to make payouts to suppliers. 4th, and something which is very unique to Payoneer, the virtual cards. When you grow your business, you want to spend on ads, like Crystal spoke about having the right strategy for Amazon ads. You will basically require support in making payouts, in spending online. The Payoneer virtual cards save the day in all shape and form. We offer virtual cards with very high limits, and you can get multiple virtual cards with the Payoneer account. VAT payments, a big pain point for merchants. If you sell in the UK and in the EU region, you need to make VAT payments. You can easily make VAT payments from the Payoneer balance directly. Last and not the least, the Payoneer partner network. We are like super blessed to have partners like the ones that we have on the screen right now. I've been hearing all of them. We have very strong set of partners like India Sourcing, like Daniel, like Margaret. All of such companies help us where we are today, right? So we are here to basically act as an anchor, act as a nucleus to help you connect with all these partners and basically be your growth support in your overall global journey. I'll quickly walk you through the key product features that we have. We'll take any questions that you have around Payoneer. You will take, if you feel that there is something that the product could do much better, feel free to share your feedback in the Q&A, and we'll surely work on this. We are here because of your global business. The virtual account is the first one. Like I spoke about it, we offer virtual bank accounts in 8, 9 different geographies. We are continuously adding new currencies, but what we have right now pretty much covers the entire planet, right? From US to Canada to Mexico, that's one part of the world. To Europe, GBP is the next part of the world. When you come to Asia, I'm taking a flight from the west to the east, but yeah, when you come to Asia, you have Singapore dollar, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, etc. So pretty much cover all marketplaces in the world. You can use these virtual accounts to get paid from clients or from marketplaces directly. So if you are a merchant based out of Morocco, exporting to a client in the US, you could use this virtual account to get payments from your client in the US. Global wire account, again, something very unique to Payoneer. We offer virtual US dollar wire account, which is a standard wire account with our banking partners in US and Singapore. You could use this wire to accept a wire payment from clients anywhere in the world. So again, it's something that we launched last year, and it has been a very popular payment method within the exporter community, right? Store manager, if you sell on multiple marketplaces, you would want a single dashboard view of how much did you make from Amazon, how much did you earn from Jumia, how much did you earn from Walmart. So the Payoneer Store Manager feature allows you to see the big picture of your overall e-commerce business on one dashboard. Your UK and EU VAT, which is something I just covered, you can pay from your Payoneer balance directly. Suppliers bank account, you could make payouts to suppliers in 200 plus countries directly in their bank account. Let's take a use case. If you are a merchant from Dubai, you want to make a payment to your Chinese supplier of $10,000, you could directly make a payment from your Payoneer balance to their Chinese bank account from your Payoneer account directly. This makes it very, very easy to scale your business and maintain the supply of stock, and also ensure that there is minimum hassle in doing it. So imagine having a Payoneer account balance, and within 2 clicks, using the Payoneer mobile app, you can make the payout directly. So it makes it a lot more easier. I've seen merchants praising this specific feature a lot because they feel that it solves a very specific pain point, which is making payouts to their suppliers, who could be anywhere in the world. For example, you take the India sourcing trip, you come to India and you place an order of $10,000. Now, once you go back to your home country and you want to make a payment to the supplier in India, you could directly make a payment to the supplier in his Indian bank. So that's how this overall thing works. The Payoneer cards, like I spoke about, we offer the virtual card and the MasterCard, the physical card. You could use both these cards to spend online for Google Ads, Facebook Ads, etc., and everywhere across the globe where you would need to use the Payoneer balance. This card is in partnership with MasterCard, a very solid tool to spend online. Everybody is aiming to build a direct-to-consumer brand, a D2C brand. Everybody is planning to sell on Amazon. Everybody is planning to sell on Walmart. When you want to spend money on ads, you need a cards product which is very stable and is accepted by all the platforms. Payoneer virtual card, the Payoneer purchasing MasterCard is a product that will basically help you make it very simple for you to be able to spend money on. Managed currencies is an option which allows you to move money within Payoneer account. So for example, if you receive $10,000, but you want to convert some money into pounds, you can do it directly within the Payoneer account. So long story short, you could get paid from marketplaces, direct customers, using bank transfers, using credit card links, you could using wire transfers. And once you get funds in the Payoneer account, you could withdraw money from the Payoneer account using multiple methods. So multiple methods to receive, multiple methods to pay out. Some of the basically more of a snapshot of what Payoneer does as a platform. You get payments from all marketplaces and you can pay out easily to anywhere in the world. So that's pretty much of what we do as a platform. Happy to take any questions. We are improving the product every day. We are ensuring that we are adding more and more payment methods, more and more features to support all corridors across the globe. And if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, feel free to talk in the Q&A. I am available on LinkedIn, email, etc., and happy to connect to help you grow your business globally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kavish. Incredible information. We've got a lot of questions for you. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We haven't finished yet, so please make sure that you start typing in your questions in the Q&A section or in the chat section so that we can go ahead and answer them for all of everyone here. Kavish, let's get started with a question for you from Hilson. Hilson is saying, what is the spread fees for currency exchange, if there is any?
Yeah, so we have a standard. So what we have tried to do as a platform, we have kept the currency conversion fee as a standard 2% fee, which applies on the mid-market rate. And once you have an account manager with Payoneer, once you do really large volumes with Payoneer, we can work to discount that rate to a much lower, but the default stands at 2%.
Perfect. Thank you. So for everyone that's asking and typing in the chat, please don't add your personal email. We will be sending you the recording after we're done. You will be receiving the recording on the email that you have provided when you registered for the webinar. So no worries there. Don't worry. We will start working. So let's get started with a question for you, Megla and Margaret. I don't know who wants to take it. So there's a comment from Patrick saying the objective of the webinar is also to introduce us to products in India. I know you've already shown what types of products can be sourced from India. Maybe we can go through it a little bit again.
Yeah, definitely. And, People can also go to our website, indiasourcing.net, and browse through the profiles over there. You can download catalogs of suppliers. But just in a nutshell, India really specializes in products that are made out of natural materials. So if you're looking for anything that's made out of metal, wood, glass, ceramic, those types of products. Also, eco-friendly products are really popular. Then there's also leather. If you're looking for textile-based products, India is a great source for that as well. In fact, apparel and textile is one of India's biggest export categories. And then there are newer industries such as electronics, electronic components, engineering goods that are also, up and coming. And a lot of big OEM kind of companies are diversifying from China or Taiwan and shifting some of their production to India as well. Mark, is there anything you wanted to add? Did I miss any product categories?
I think we've covered them all, and I think probably one of the biggest is the eco-friendly with like the PET products, where the waste is recycled, whether it be offcuts of material or offcuts of leather. They're all incorporated into bags or as trims or to make rugs and things. And I think that's a really big advantage, is that you can use that as a great brand story in your Amazon listing A+ content. So I think there's a good opportunity to get some free advertising, have a video even of it being done, how the process works. So I think that's great.
Thank you so much, both of you. Another question also to you both. During your presentation, Megla, I can't seem to find it now, but there was a comment related to, somebody got scammed from a manufacturer in India, and now it's very tough for them to, it's like a relationship. Once you go through a bad relationship, it's very tough to go through another relationship again. But what are the systems that somebody can have in place? I do believe one of the mistakes that most sellers or most small businesses do once they get started is that they pay directly to the supplier. They pay the full amount without having any system in place. So what would you recommend in this case?
I think that's a great question, Crystal. And, whether you're sourcing from India, China, or any country, you've got to do your due diligence. That is up to the importer. And, there are unfortunately bad actors everywhere in the world. So, as business people, we have to protect ourselves. And sourcing is a risky business. I mean, you're sourcing from, a different country that you're not familiar with. So you've got to do your due diligence. First of all, make sure that the supplier is a legitimate company. Check their documents to make sure they've got, their company registration. Do online searches, plus the word scam, company name plus scam, to see if there are any scams related to that company. Ask for their import-export certificate to make sure that they do have import licenses. Talk to some of the buyers that they have already sourced for. So there are lots of different ways to vet suppliers when you're sourcing from India. So make sure you're vetting the supplier really well. Then secondly, don't give all of the payment upfront. Do an advance payment of 30%, 40%, as less as you can. And then give the rest once products have passed inspection. So at least, that way you're protecting yourself to some extent. That's another thing that you can do.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Anything else you would like to say? I know there was a lot of questions related to the trip. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and we did cover a bit about the trip when you went offline. We did address some of the questions about the trip. Yeah. Somebody had asked for the cost, and we told them that it's sort of an all-inclusive trip that covers everything.
Perfect. So, perfect. Then thank you so much. I'm going to move on to some questions to Danielle. Danielle, I wanted to, you are at a unique position and you are in a unique webinar, and we want to take full advantage of this, especially for everyone that is based in Dubai in particular and sells in Dubai. Can you let us know a little bit more about what systems or what programs you have developed for small businesses or individual sellers in DHL?
All right. So since we started e-commerce, which is last year, one of the core things we wanted to focus on were the SMEs, the small and medium startup companies who have started launching their products, especially on marketplaces like Amazon. and other places. So we are developing a new product which we will launch very soon for B2B sellers. So this is like for sellers on marketplaces, which will assist you. First of all, we'll give you a consultation, and then we'll assist you with providing the correct mode of transportation you want. So it's like a specialized system or product specially made for sellers on marketplaces. Apart from that, we are also having the B2C. So this is if you have already launched your product and you want to ship it from your warehouse or wherever you're selling it to the end customer, we can also provide you this economic solution to move your shipments. So we'll give you an option of either you want us to move it from, for example, India to Nigeria, or someone orders from Nigeria, someone sits in Nigeria and orders from an online shop in India. So we'll help to move the shipment in bulk to the final customer in Nigeria and vice versa. So we've been doing cross-border B2C and B2B shipments since this is launching this year, actually.
Incredible. Can we say, Danielle, that one of the advantages of working with such a big company like DHL is the fact that you have the backup of a large team? Is that what, especially somebody that's starting their journey online, or maybe they're at a, they're considered an SME, is that what you should be looking for in a partner, you believe?
Yes, for people who are starting online, I know that a lot of people are thinking, oh, DHL is too big, cannot support us. And this is something that I would like people to sort of change their minds about, because for me, as I'm based here in the Middle East, I see that a lot of companies are small and they feel like, okay, I can't approach the big players because they might charge me too much money. But forget the fact that cost is there. We have products which will give you the right solution. We also have the network. So all around the globe, we have connections for you. So there's no place, I would say, in the world that you want to ship to, you want to send your products to, or you're sitting somewhere you want to move it, that will not move for you. We have a good network of experts. We have a good network of stations, offices, and so whatever type of solution you need, we'll be able to provide it for you. If you need fast, if you need slow, and it's not just about talking about it, but it's in there. We want to help, not just the big company.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Danielle. Thank you so much. Everyone who wants to reach out to Danielle, you have her contacts. She just shared them, or you can find her easily on LinkedIn. Danielle Lake, you'll be able to find her, and you can, ask her some questions directly so she can help. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you. Kavish, I have a few questions also for you. Let's get started with a question which is interesting from Ada, who is asking, do you have a program for small businesses, especially new entrants?
Yeah, of course. So we basically have a lot of material to help small businesses to basically start growing their business globally. It would be very interesting to see what are the areas of interest. So if they are looking to grow in e-commerce, we have a lot of material to help them sell on Amazon and all these marketplaces. If they are IT services company, we can help them basically launch on Upwork and all these freelance marketplaces. So while I spoke about that we are strongly connected with the marketplaces globally, we can surely help them connect to these marketplaces. And if they find something which aligns with their expertise, that will basically help them grow. And then once they grow, they start accepting payments, and then they can use Payoneer. For them to use Payoneer, there is no restriction of them having an active business. They can create a Payoneer account, and once they start getting funds, they can use it.
Perfect. I wanted you to answer the question because I know Payoneer supports everyone no matter, all entrepreneurs, no matter what your size is. So you don't have to be big and you don't have to be small. You can just be an entrepreneur that wants to grow their business, and Payoneer is there to support. A question from Babatunde saying, does Payoneer work with Shopify? Can you clarify that?
So we don't work with Shopify directly. We basically are, we have recently launched a checkout solution called as a Payoneer Checkout, which is right now, which is basically a payment gateway that people can use on their web store. We do not support Shopify as of now, but we'll surely will in the next few months to
come. One thing related to maybe sending money, because we are getting a lot of those questions. I think it's one thing to clarify, because if you want to send money to somebody else's account and they have a Payoneer account, then it's absolutely for free. So sending money from a Payoneer to a Payoneer account is for free, because someone commented, Kavish, I can't find the comment now, the idea of, you know, if they want to send someone money, however, they don't have a Payoneer account, you can, you know, I'll let you explain that. If I want to pay someone and they don't have a Payoneer account, what are my options?
So you can they could basically transfer funds to their local bank account. That's the only option that they will have if the other person does not have a Payoneer account.
Perfect. One last question for you from Taiwo, who's saying, can I make use of my Payoneer card to withdraw in dollar rather than in my country's currency?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So the idea, I didn't understand it either. So I thought maybe you would understand it. So can you basically, let's say, I believe, as you guys know, the Payoneer provides you accounts in multiple currencies. So if you were paid in GBP, for example, or Japanese yen, or whatever currency that you were paid in, you can easily transfer that to a US bank, your US account, okay, and then you can use it in US dollars. So it's very easy to transfer money and currencies in Payoneer. So if I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that answers that should answer the question.
Perfect. Thank you so much for everyone that joined. And just to remind you, everyone, that you will be receiving the recording, and I hope you will watch it again. You will be receiving the recording of this session, and please do reach out to everyone or anyone if you have any question. We are here to support you and help you. And thank you so much to our lovely speakers, Megla, Margaret, Danielle, and Kavish. Thank you so much for your time and for your insights. And thank you to all of the attendees. We hope that you got some really great information out of this. And we're very happy that all of you attended. And that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.